Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I will be reading Kindle Unlimited new adult romances. So I'm actually 15% of the way through one of the books for this video, so let's just like dive right in. So I am 20% of the way through Just Like Heaven. Now I have read one other book by this author. It was the first book in her like Gossip Girl story. This one seems to be like a duet, and it is a Romeo and Juliet, and we are following like a wrong side of the tracks guy with a, you know, rich girl who has a senator father. And in the beginning of the story, she goes to a party with her friends, and she is like going to hook up with this guy that she's had a crush on for a really long time. And then when she gets to the boat that she's supposed to hook up with the guy with, she runs into the hero, but they have this like really intense moment together, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. The connection, you can tell, is like very insta love. They have this like earth-shattering intense feelings for each other that's very reminiscent of like how Romeo and Juliet would feel, and it's fun. The writing is fun. I'm enjoying it more than I did the first book in the Hillcrest Prep series. The writing is very similar, but this just feels like over the top and dramatic in the best way, and it's been a while since I've read a new adult story like this that gripped me as quickly as this one did. So I'm really enjoying it, and I probably won't read the duet in this video, but I will continue if I enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying it right now. Like I said, I'm only 20% of the way through, but it's pretty short. And yeah, as far as I know, the hero isn't like super mean or anything like that. It's very much, he's like a sweetheart, but she has like someone else that is interested in her. All I know is it's just all very dramatic, and yeah. So if you look at the Goodreads reviews, it's just like 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, and then the people that don't like it just really don't like it. But I think because I know it's like insta love and not really developed, and it's not like this deep, intense, like soulmate level thing, I can go in and just, you know, have fun with it, which is kind of what I anticipate from new adult romances. So I'm probably going to finish out this one and then start my next one. I think of the ones for this video that I'm most concerned with, it's definitely Magnolia Parks, just because it's like massively popular, and people either really don't like it or really love it, and I'm concerned because I really want to like it, and it's quite long. I think it's like over 500 pages, which is just so ridiculously long. I'm gonna save Magnolia Parks to the end because I'm concerned, but then we'll read Blindside after Just Like Heaven, and I hope I like that one as well. All right, so I am 50% of the way through Just Like Heaven, and I'm enjoying it still just as much as when I was first reading it. I definitely wouldn't say it's like the most intense romance ever. It feels very high school. It feels very Romeo and Juliet. The heroine's father is a senator, and the hero's father is part of the Irish mob. And by extension, he's part of the Irish mob. And so they have had to doing everything in secret, meeting up in secret and stuff. And the heroine has another guy that's interested in her that her family is trying to like force her to be with, basically. His name is Hunter, and his dad is influential in this town in some way, and he's kind of a frat boy douchebag. And the hero is very sweet, very sweet. Even though it's very much a wrong side of the tracks like bad boy, he's incredibly kind to her, which is not the typical for like a new adult romance, which is what I'm really appreciating. Their love is just very dramatic. It's very all-consuming. It's very insta love, but it's a lot of fun, and it's snarky. I do think that one of the downsides of this book is that it has a lot of cultural references in it, and like that's just going to be a detriment to the book down the road. But for the moment, it's fun. Like even some of the references I don't get because like I don't have things like TikTok and stuff like that, so some of the references go over my head. So yeah, it could be easily aged, you know, but it's not going to be anything that I like am putting on a favorites list of the year, but it's fun, and I think that's kind of what I need. I have talked briefly about this towards like the end of last year, but I was getting to a point where I felt like I just didn't like reading romance at all, and I have since like outside of videos been exploring other genres and stuff, and that's definitely helped. but I felt like I was looking for something in romance that I wasn't getting, and it was making it so books that I had picked up, maybe that would have just been really fun and I would have really enjoyed, I was not giving the time. I was saying like, this is not, you know, this most epic Kennedy Ryan romance, so I don't want to read it. And that's like not what all romances are. Like, they can just be fun and they can be over the top and dramatic. They don't have to be like these epic love stories, and there's nothing wrong with either story. I was just not allowing myself to have fun, which is unfortunate because like, this is what this channel is for. That's what I make videos for. That's why I read romance. It's for fun and for love, and because I love romance, and I love love. And I was just, I don't know. So I'm happy that I read this. I'm happy that I've had some great romance reads in the beginning of the year, because it sort of rejuvenated me. And I think what's helping is like, this story is pretty short. It's not really drawn out. It doesn't feel like a chore to read, which I think is a lot of the issue that I was coming across with KU reads that I otherwise might have felt were really fun and interesting, and they might not be the best romances, but they were fun stories to read. I was finding these stories that fit all of those criteria of a fun romance, but they were really drawn out, so they just lost any steam, any funness for me, because I'm like, this is just too long. Like, it's going on too long. And I'm glad that this is short. It's snarky, it's fun, it's over the top and dramatic, and it's exactly what I want from like a new adult story. So I'm very happy that I started with this for this video, because like I said, I'm very nervous about Magnolia Parks, and I don't even know if Blindside is new adult. So hopefully you guys didn't see the title or the thumbnail and were like, you're an idiot, that's not even new adult. I'm hoping it is. I think it is. Yeah, I'm really glad that I started with this. It's just a lot of fun, and I think I'm probably going to update you when I am done with it, and I might start Blindside at the same time. We'll see. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, and yeah, we'll talk when I am done with it. Also, I forgot to mention my previous update that he literally throws someone off a cliff for hurting her. So okay, so I have gotten 25% of the way through Blindside. This is about Gianna and Clay, and Clay is part of the college football team, so yes, this is a new adult, and Gianna is like the assistant PR rep or something along those lines. And Clay has broken up with his girlfriend, his long-term girlfriend. Gianna asks him to do some interviews, and he like bombs the interviews. He's like he's like a huge dick to the sportscaster, and so she is supposed to give him etiquette training and make sure that like he won't be another PR nightmare. And so she forces him to have a study session on etiquette one night, and they go to this bar. He sees her checking out this artist, this music guy playing guitar in the cafe, and so he proposes that they fake date to make the musician jealous and also the hero's ex-girlfriend jealous. I'm really liking this. I have read something else by Candy Steiner, and I don't think I think I put it on like my worst books of the year last year or something like that. The one where she like kills her bird. I'll never get over that one. But I liked the writing in that one. So like, I like Candy Steiner's writing. I just don't like the choices that she makes with her stories. But I'm liking this so far. There's definitely a lot more angst with the characters that I was expecting in their personal lives. Like, Gianna is very shy and reserved and kind of meek, and she has to sort of force herself to assert herself with the football players. And Clay is dealing with a lot because the person that he was with, like the long-term relationship that he was in, he's been with her for a long time. Their families are very close, and it wasn't like a mutual breakup. Like, she just decided that she didn't want to be with him anymore. So it's got quite a bit more angst than I'm used to reading with sports romances, which is good because I'm not generally a sports romance person, but I'm liking it thus far. I enjoy the heroine. I think she's fun. And then I also am like 8% of the way through Magnolia Parks. I don't really get why people love this author's writing. So we are following BJ, who is the hero, and Magnolia. It's supposed to be like Gossip Girl, but they're in London, and they are best friends, but I think they've had like some sort of romantic history, and we start off the story with them getting ready to go to a bar or something, and there's mentions of like BJ saying he's like hooked up with other women, but she was in a relationship, so like she can't really be upset. And she uses so many analogies and run-on sentences that it's a little irritating. I don't really find her writing to be anything great. Like everything I've heard from people, like every time I've heard a review of this, people are like, her writing is so lyrical and so beautiful, and I'm confused where. It's a lot of like run-on sentences, like I said, and a lot of analogies and a lot of conversation about clothes, which like that's cool if you're into clothes, but I'm just not. So it's a little over the top, and I'm only 8% in, so not the greatest opening, but I could see it improving because like I like, you know, angst and tension and messiness. So this is either gonna be like the good kind of messy or the this is going on too long, I'm over the messiness thing sort of deal. So I will update you when I have some thoughts on one of them. Okay friends, I am 50% of the way through Blindside, and I think I'm a sports romance girly now. I am loving this, loving this. So since I updated you last, they have had some sexual encounters, some lessons in seduction, if you will, because she proposes to Clay that they need to, like, she needs to be taught how to have sex and stuff because the guy that she is interested in is a musician and he probably has been with a lot of women and stuff, so she doesn't want to seem inexperienced and chase him off or whatever. And so they have some delightful like lessons in seduction scenes. So basically what happens at the like 45% mark is he has like a big game, and he meanwhile has been trying to get back his ex-girlfriend, and it's his birthday and they have this football game, and his mom calls him and says, my boyfriend broke up with me. Didn't even wish him happy birthday, didn't even do anything like that. And he was like, okay, well, and she was like, well, my boyfriend broke up with me and I left my job because I thought he was going to be taking care of me. So he's like, listen, I will basically pay your bills for you, which is something that he does often. That's like a reoccurring thing with Clay, is like he's very much a caretaker for the people in his life, and in his mom, with his mom in particular, because after his father left, she very much was like through a cycle of men that would like, she'd be really happy when they got together and then they would leave her and she'd be devastated. Clay was kind of there to support her, and so he gets a call from his mom, and his mom like doesn't even wish him happy birthday or anything. And then he gets off the phone with his mom, and his ex-girlfriend runs up to him, and he's kind of like in the previous chapters been telling her, like pushing her away because he thinks that she's like trying to reel him back in, and that if he goes back to her too quickly, that she will just like say, well, you know, I'm good, like I don't want you anymore or whatever, which is fucked up, but he just doesn't seem to think that it's fucked up. And so she runs up to him and is like rubbing up on him. Meanwhile, she knows that he is with Gianna. She's like, I know you still want me. She's like rubbing on him, and he's like, that's a cup, I don't want you, and then walks away. And so he's like in this really bad mood, and he's feeling very bad, and so he goes to Gianna's office because she's like a PR assistant or whatever. So she has an office, and she has like birthday cake and confetti and candles and all this stuff, but she can tell that he is not really feeling up for it. So she ends up taking him to the observatory on campus, and they go and they lay out underneath the stars, and she can tell that like nothing is really working. So she's like, okay, well, I need you to teach me like my next lesson. Clay is so sweet. He is so sweet. It's so nice to see. It's such a change from other sports romances, other new adult romances, and I'm absolutely loving it. I am loving Clay's character. I think they're such a good couple. He literally took her romance novels and read the parts that she highlighted so that when they had sex, he could use the things that turned her on to help her. Like, he's so sweet and lovely and just amazing. I'm loving it so much. I love Gianna. She is so meek and sort of reserved and she loves reading and she's very introverted, but she's such a badass, can kind of get over her fears and just so like strong, and I love it. And I love their relationship. I love the like, this is taking that like good girl, bookie girl with the jock trope like to the perfect level, because they just have the perfect relationship. Clay is so sweet and he fits her personality so well, and she just understands him. Like, she understands that he's very caring and that he needs to take care of people, and she just like, yes, they just know each other, and it's so lovely. It's so lovely. I'm enjoying it so much. And this redeems that other book that I read by the author. Even though she still killed her bird, I'm going to say that every time I bring up that book, because it still blows my mind. I do think there is a spoiler for that series in this book, because they talk about a book that she has on her shelves that has like the same plot as that, and like the ending I think is revealed in this book. So obviously I didn't read the sequel to that one, so I don't actually know how it ends, but I'm pretty sure how this book says it ends is how it ends. But wow, yeah, it's very, very, very good. It's very good. I'm loving it so much. I'm so happy that I have this book and then I had the one before it, that even if I don't like Magnolia Parks, I'm so happy that I have read this book, and I'm excited to move on, because if the next hero is anything like Clay, I'm in heaven. And I would love to know down below other sports romances that are like this. Like, I'm tired of the like douchey frat boy that like realizes that she's not like other girls and he actually respects women or whatever bullshit. I'm tired of that, and I want heroes like this. This is so fantastic. Hi friends, I have an update for you. So I finally finished Blindside, and I loved this. I loved this way more. Sorry, I live next to an Air Force base, so not much I can do about this. I loved it. I was so shocked with how much I loved it. I think, like I said in my previous clip, it really has to do with Clay. He was just a standout hero. So amazing. And I thought that I wasn't going to give this 5 stars when I got to the conflict, but I think Clay as a character is so relatable, and Candy Steiner handled this conflict so well that I couldn't not give it 5 stars. So I decided to give it 5 stars. I think it's my second 5-star romance of the year, and yes, amazing. Loved it. So happy with my reads for this video so far. And then I also am 25% of the way through Magnolia Parks. Not hating it. It's quite fun. The writing, I think, is the like kicker for me, because it's simultaneously very analogy heavy and very like pretty, or attempts to be pretty, and then it's also very juvenile at the same time. It's almost written like you're talking to a friend, which is fun because it gives you like a very much like a Gossip Girl feeling, where you're just like following these characters around and you're part of society, you're part of this group of people, and so they're talking to you and they're saying well, you know BJ Ballantyne, things like that. And it feels very like personal to you, but it also feels very childish. Not because of that aspect to it, but there are just ways that sentences are structured and things that are said that feel very childish. And then you have these long sweeping analogies that the author writes that just juxtaposes the rest of the writing in a weird way. But it's an interesting story. I think if you really enjoy like mid-20s people just like being messy with people that have a lot of money, you will enjoy this. I think I talked about it briefly, but Magnolia and BJ are like the main characters. There are 2 points of view, and they live in London, and they are like high society. They have a lot of money, or their family has a lot of money. BJ is like an influencer, and Magnolia does something or other, but mostly they just go to parties and hang out, and they have like a group of friends that include like BJ's brother, and it's a whole like messy group. And some years ago, I think it's been like 3 or 4 years at this point, BJ and Magnolia have been best friends since they were little. And BJ has always kind of been obsessed with Magnolia ever since he met her, but she didn't really have a thing for him. But they started dating, and they were dating for like 5 years, and he cheated on her. He said like it was an accident or whatever, and so she broke it off with him, and a couple of months later they went back to being friends, but everybody could tell that they still had like romantic feelings for each other. They still slept in the same bed, they still spent all of their time together. They're just not like sexually with each other, but they are still very jealous, and she ends up dating someone from their friend group, and he like beats the shit out of the guy. So there's tension in their friend group from that, because BJ thinks that that friend still has a thing for her, and I think he's the hero in another book, so it's not like a love triangle on that part. Towards the 25% mark, they go to a party. Magnolia has decided that she is going to tell BJ that she has feelings for him, and that they can work through their trust issues together and be together because she loves him. And then she goes to the party, and of course he's getting a lap dance from another woman, and she storms off, and she meets this guy who's like really popular, I guess, and they end up deciding to fake date each other, and then BJ finds out that they actually hooked up at the club and left together and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's just kind of messy, and I would say if it was written better, I probably would be like enamored with it, because it's just fun. There is no plot from what I could tell. It kind of just like is a meandering story about people like doing shit together, like rich people doing shit, and this like romance, this romantic relationship, or this messy relationship at its central. I don't necessarily like either of them. I think we definitely spend more time in Magnolia's head than BJ's head, so it's hard to see. Like when we're in BJ's head, he talks about, she's hurt me, I've hurt her, we can't trust each other, but we really haven't seen, aside from the friend thing, what she's done to hurt him. Like, I'm sure that's hard, but we haven't really seen much else. Like, he'll be like, well, I'll hook up with someone else and she'll get in a relationship, but it's like, you all aren't together. So while it's hurtful to see someone you love and want to be with someone else, you guys aren't in a romantic relationship. So if you guys wanted to be in a romantic relationship, y'all could cut the shit, figure it out if you wanted to, and be in a romantic relationship, but you're too immature and need therapy, and you don't know how to use your big words to get to that point. But it's not really cheating if you're not together and you're getting with other people. That's like the consistent theme, is they still have a lot of love for each other, but BJ just doesn't stop hooking up with women, and even when he's hooking up with the women, he's like thinking about her. But like, why are you hooking up with these women? You can't just like jerk off a couple times a day? Like, what else do you have to do, you know? Like, what is the fulfillment that you're getting from hooking up with these women that is more important than this professed grand sweeping life-altering romance love that you have for Magnolia? And I'm enjoying it. It's definitely quicker to get through once you get used to the writing style. It is 500 pages, but with these types of stories, unless the drama just keeps recycling and it's the same drama over and over again, it should be a quick read. Okay, there are a couple of things that I forgot to mention that I feel like are worth mentioning. There is a lot of drug use in this, particularly from BJ. He is addicted to drugs, and there is an overdose situation in the past in which he almost died. And so he is a heavy drinker and uses drugs. When he cheated on Magnolia, that night that he cheated, he tells her, and when he says it, he says, "We didn't mean to." She doesn't catch it because she's obviously like in a tizzy, but he never tells her who he cheated with. But the "we never meant to" implies that it's someone she knows, which means that it's probably one of her friends. So I don't know, but that's my guess on where this is going to go. She keeps mentioning like 2 girls in particular. There's Palaya, and yeah, that's it. I think that's the only girl that she like mentions regularly. Possibly her, but it's definitely someone she knows and like she's familiar with. So, because he said we didn't mean to. And if he was hooking up with someone that she didn't know or she didn't like, why would he say that? He would be like, I didn't mean to. So, but yes, drugs, hooking up with someone she knows. So I am 50% of the way through Magnolia Parks, and I don't have too much to say. We do have some more like secrets being revealed, which I'm confused about because we have some conflicting information. I mentioned previously that Magnolia was with Christian, who is the friend from their group that she gets with like pretty soon after her and BJ break up, after BJ cheated on her. And they have gone away for the weekend because Magnolia found out that her father is cheating on her mother with someone she knows. And Christian starts a fight about him seeing Magnolia orgasm. And this irritates Tom, who Magnolia has like a budding relationship with. Like, it's fake, but it doesn't really seem to be fake. And then it pisses BJ off, obviously, as well. And she texts Christian, because like every once in a while we'll get text messages between the characters. She texts Christian like, why did you say that? And then she says something to him and he's like, fuck you. And she's like, but I thought you already did. But previously we were told that she has only had sex with BJ. So which one is unreliable? Does it mean fuck you in like another way because they had like oral sex, or like what does that mean? Do they actually have like sex? Like, what does it mean? I don't know. But they're basically on this vacation because she's trying to get away from her family because she leaked it to the press that her father is a cheater, and she's going on a date with BJ, even though a friend date, even though she's like actively with Tom. And so there's like tension between multiple guys in the group, her and Christian, her and Tom, who is in love with another woman still, and then her and BJ. So it's just, again, sort of messy, sort of a lot of drama. And I think the issue that I have is that I don't really believe the romantic relationship between her and BJ, and there hasn't been enough work done with them together for me to believe that. Like, there's not enough scenes of them in the present together. It's always them separate, talking about the pain that each other has caused each other, but it's never like them being good together in person, if that makes sense. So, like in the present, because we have flashbacks to them like when they were actually dating or pre-cheating or whatever. I don't see how they would be good now, if that makes sense. Like, they haven't had enough time together in the present. So I will update you at the 75% mark. I don't really have much else to say, or at the, I'll update you when I'm done, because I don't really have anything else to say. At the point, I'm not like super in love with the romance at the core, and it's just kind of reading like a fiction book to me. I don't know if it's really romance. It's like all focused around their romantic relationship, but it doesn't feel like a love. It feels like a love story, not a romance, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm not any further in the book. I'm 52%, but I do feel like it's worth mentioning that like none of these characters are good people, I would say. None of them are particularly likable, but like that's not new. If you're a Gossip Girl fan, they all kind of fucking suck. They're all selfish, and like Magnolia is not exempt from that in any way. I do think they all have reasons for the way they are, right? Like, they all have shitty parents and they whatever. Magnolia likes being liked. She likes having boyfriends. She likes being not single. She likes having people fawn over her. I don't know what BJ gets out of like fucking women, but like Magnolia is not the angel I think we maybe are led to believe. We have these moments where like people call her out, but it's very like lighthearted and there's always someone there to defend her, but she's not like a fun main character to follow. I don't want to say it's not fun because it's not like mega depressing or anything like that. Like, it is just messy drama, but I don't think Magnolia has the sort of personality that I would root for ultimately in this. I'm sure like this is a multiple book series following this couple. I think at this point there's maybe 2 or 3 books out following them. So like I'm not expecting this amazing character growth in this book. Do I think there probably is going to be any character growth at all? No, I don't feel like that's the sort of story that Jessica, hey, whatever her name is, I don't think that's the kind of story she's trying to go for. It'll probably result in just 2 toxic people ending up together, which, you know, there are relationships like that, but yeah, like I said earlier, that BJ, I would say, because we're in Magnolia's head, it seems like she hurts BJ more, or he hurts her more than she hurts BJ, but like she's also not a great person. She could end this cycle just as much as he could, and they don't want to. They don't want to stop hurting the people that they choose to interact with romantically, knowing that it's never going to last. They could stop hurting their friend group, their friends, but they don't want to because they're selfish. So that's the deal. Like I said, I'm never gonna root for this couple romantically because they're just not good people, and I don't think we have enough of a romantic relationship currently for me to be on board with them. This is what I would assume that reading a what is her name? The Normal People woman is like. It's not a romance. It's just messy people in their 20s being messy sort of deal. I will say, like, the idea that I'm only halfway through the book is a little daunting for me. Like, I'm not excited that I have, you know, 250 books or 250 pages left to read. So yeah, but Magnolia is not like fun. We just had a scene where Christian comes to her and is like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're selfish, you're hurting people, you hurt me, you hurt all of these people that you've been in a relationship with. Like, what are you doing? And then of course she gets defended and she's like upset and she feels like she's been attacked, and it's like, he's being truthful, like he's being honest, like he genuinely has or currently has feelings for you, and while you might not be with him romantically right now, you used that to your advantage. And then that's kind of the situation that I feel like is going on with Tom. So Tom is in love with someone else, but they very clearly have feelings for each other, or at least I think he has genuine feelings for Magnolia, whereas I think Magnolia just wants someone to be into her and to feed her romantic desires or whatever. I don't know if she genuinely likes Tom. I think she thinks he's attractive. She might like him, as in she wants to be friends with him, but I don't know if she loves him. I mean, I haven't seen anything with them to like say that she would be falling for him. Like, they haven't really had any meaningful interactions. None of the characters in this book have meaningful interactions to begin with, but there's nothing about their relationship that would lead me to believe that like she loves him. I think she gets jealous that he might be in love with someone else, and she doesn't want the ruse of their fake relationship to end because she likes the attention of him and them being in a relationship. Like, she likes the attention that comes along with being in a relationship with someone, at least in the society that, you know, she lives in. So I definitely don't like either of them. I would say the more I learn about Magnolia, the less I like about her, and their relationship is interesting, and, you know, you want to like like I said, there's no plot, so you want to, you know, get to the next interaction between them because you want to see how messy it's going to be. But I wouldn't say that I'm like rooting for this love and that it's like this all-encompassing soulmate love that they are trying to lead us to believe that it is. Like, it just sounds like it's 2 codependent people who had dysfunctional families that were looking for people to fill that role. They clung to each other and they are unable to get out of the cycle of dependency and they need therapy. That's basically like the summation of their relationship. So like I said, I'm gonna that's kind of how I'm feeling right now, but by the end of the book, who knows, maybe I want to continue. I do know that the series goes like this relationship, and then the Daisy Hates books which is the second book in the series, is about a different relationship, and I'm interested in Daisy Hates. I think she could be more of a main character that I'm interested in. I believe she is like the daughter of a mafia boss or something like that, and she seems more interesting. So we'll see. We'll see how this book does me, because I know all of them are fairly long. So if I like this one marginally, I might consider picking up a Daisy Hates book. So we'll just see how this ends. I have a feeling it's going to end with them not being together, and the reveal is going to be, like, the conflict is going to be her finding out who he slept with, and then it's going to end there. So we're going to read 500 pages for something that could have been wrapped up at the 300 page mark, but yes, so we'll talk. All right, friends, so I have finished Magnolia Parks, and I decided to give this 3 stars. I would say like the last 100 pages, I really skipped. Like, it's overly long. It's fun, but the drama is just too drawn out. And I wouldn't consider this a romance. Not in particularly not a romance that I would root for. Obviously, they don't end up in the end together or have a happy for now. So, not my favorite, and I don't know if I would continue. I definitely don't think it's as bad as the people that hate the book, and it's not as good as people that love the book. I think it's very mid, and it could have been very good if it had been shortened. So, yeah, that's it for this video. I have a romance that I really enjoyed, a series that I'll probably continue in Just Like Heaven. I absolutely loved Blindside, and I'm excited to read the next books in that series. Didn't love Magnolia Parks, but I didn't also anticipate that it was going to be like my favorite thing in the world, so I'm not too mad about it. But let me know down in the comments your thoughts on anything that I read. If you've continued the Magnolia Parks series and you think that I will enjoy Daisy Hates, definitely let me know. If you don't have anything to say, leave a cat emoji down in the comments. If you're looking for more content from me, you can check out my Instagram or my podcast Instagram. You can also check out my podcast on all your favorite streaming platforms. It is a horror podcast. It's a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one.